Hello again. So after install these dependencies, we go to the next step is to initialize the master node. We will run this command. Okay. We'll run this command only on the master node, only on this node. Sorry. I have to wait a little bit until the installation is done. Now, to add this worker node to the cluster, we should run this command. Copy, paste here, right? There's some errors here. Oh, sorry. I have to run it as a root. Okay, we have to install Docker. Don't have Docker here, so we have to install Docker. So we have to install Docker at the first. Install Docker. What are you? Yes. Okay, so we have to come back here and copy and paste this here in the master now. So this will create a queue. This will have the configuration of our cluster. So every time we will make a request from the master node, this request will go to the IPE server. Then we'll redirect that request to the kubelet of the worker node. Copy, right? So if we type kubectl node, yes, but they are not ready. So to make them ready, we have to install a network plugin. This is the last step, is to create a plugin. It is a pod that will be deployed in our cluster that can enable us to make requests between our cube, our master node and our worker node. So paste it here. So if there is the cube TTL read node, right? We will wait a little bit. For it. Yes, as you can see, ready. If we check if there is any pods here, cube TTL read pods, there is no resource found in the default namespace. So now what we will do is we will create a deployment and create a service to expose our deployment or our container to the outside, so it will be accessible from the outside by people. Now for that, let me clone my repository. One. So I will make a directory here. They will call it Kubernetes demo. Demo is Kubernetes demo. Then clone. Paste it here. I will call it Kubernetes. Right. Let's see. Right. ls. So here we will have our nginx deployment and our nginx service. So let us try to check what these files contain. Deployment.yaml. Nano. So at the first thing we start with is the kind, because in Kubernetes there are a bunch of objects. There are deployment, there are pod, replica set, daemon set, stateful set, etc. and service. But here we have a deployment. So in the kind we set it to deployment, give it a name, and in the spec I will show you here. I will translate this one with a schema so you can understand what's going on under the hood. So I have this schema here that shows you what's going on. This one, right? So every time I create a deployment, and in the deployment in the spec there is a replica. This is a replica set. Then in the replica set I have another spec. It is the pod, and inside the pod we have the container, right? So I create a deployment and give it a name, my nginx. Then within it I have a replica set. This replica set, as you can see, we have selector match labels. These labels, right, is this one that is existing here, as you can see here, right? This is of our pod. So when this replica set will match the labels, and when it will find that there is a pod with this name, it will take it inside it, right? And then inside that pod we have a container. We call it my nginx, right? So we will have a deployment inside